Hello there, my friends, and welcome to the 9th episode of the Atheist Experiment. I would like to change the pace of the vlog this time and talk about something a little more positive. I want to talk about strength, success, and inspiration. I lost a bit of my identity in the last few months, and I've been working on trying to get it back, and I think I'm doing pretty well. I haven't been at work, so my job was part of who I am, and it's very important to me. So that's been something I feel like I've lost, even though I might be going back next month, which is really exciting for me because I kind of go stir crazy at home from time to time. Just before this all went down, I was going to the gym 3 to 4 times a week, and I was a power lifter. I was even thinking of getting into competition because I was doing so well at it. And so I've lost that. I haven't worked out. I've lost 40 pounds. I started going back to the gym last week thanks to a buddy of mine. He encouraged me to get in there with him, and I'm coaching him, and I also started working out a little bit again myself. So I've lost a tremendous amount of strength, but I feel I'm going to get it back, which is, that part of my recovery, mental recovery as much as anything. There's a lot of foods that I stopped enjoying. My taste just seemed to change. Appetite was down, up and down, I guess. And some of my favorite foods I didn't like anymore. Couldn't drink coffee because it tasted horrible. Couldn't eat bananas. It seems like little things like that don't seem like much, but when it becomes a part of your everyday life and you're not doing it, the little things add up. And sweets, candies, chocolates, cakes, pastries, all that kind of stuff. I had to really control myself not to overeat that kind of stuff because I love it. But now, well, not now, but I did lose that taste, and so but over the last few weeks, I've been starting to get those tastes back. I've started drinking coffee again, and I'm enjoying it. I'm eating a banana every day, and it tastes good. I haven't really gotten heavily into sweets yet, but I have partaken in the odd thing here and there, and it was good. So that's starting to feel really good that I'm getting that back. And the closeness with my friends and family, I never realized how important it was to me that, now that I've lost it. Now, part of that is to do with COVID-19. But being sick and having COVID-19 floating around has just made our attempt to stay isolated more vigilant than maybe some others. So not seeing my parents and, video chatting with all my friends, it's just not the same as being there and hanging out and getting a hug. So missing all of that has been, that's been hard. But now that we've kind of gotten used to how to control is not a good word, mitigate the dangers of COVID-19. I have had some contact with family. We still wear masks. We still keep at a socially acceptable distance, and we don't gather in large groups. It's only usually 3 or 4 at a time, in a house. So that's improved my outlook a little bit. So that's a great thing. Now, just recently, I went through some pretty severe withdrawal effects. It was bad. Very deep feelings of despair and loneliness. And It really was just an imbalance in my hormones, and my chemicals in my body were all out of whack, and it was just messing with my mind and driving me crazy, and it was bad. But I'm better now, thanks to friends and family and doctors, and people around me really made a difference in my recovery from that. That was, next to the pulmonary embolism, the withdrawal was certainly the only second to that. It was worse than anything else I've gone through during this period. And that lasted about a week to a week and a half. And it was terrible for my partner and for my family to watch me going through it. But I got through it, and I'm better now. I wouldn't be brave enough to say that I'm 100% out of the woods, but I feel much, much better day by day. I would say the withdrawal effects are significantly subsiding, and had a lot to do with the fighting for my mind and keeping myself sane. Not an easy battle. But I mean, look at me now. I've beaten cancer. I beat the pulmonary embolism. I beat the withdrawal from opioids. And I want to say you can do it too, but I know that that's pretty cliche, and not everybody's the same. It's not easy. Some may have had it as hard as I have had it, and maybe don't have the support system in place to help you get through it. But I want you to know that it can be done. You can fight the battle, and you can win. I mean, message me if you're struggling. If you don't have a support system, or your support system is very limited, I mean, I'll message with you as many times as you need to help you get through something if you need that. You can stay anonymous. You don't have to tell me who you are or where you are, but I'll help you in any way I can through messaging. I have some advice to give if you need it. It's not always helpful, but it's hard to hear sometimes what you need to hear, because I know what it's like to go through these things, and even if I can just be a sounding board for you, I wouldn't mind that at all. On the medical side of things, I give all the credit to the doctors and the science that saved me. If not for the time that we live in, where there is a chance of survival and there are medications, treatments, people who care, it wasn't like that 100 years ago. It wasn't even that good 20 years ago. Things have gotten better. Cancer, it can be beaten. I mean, I know it's a slogan and I know it's cliche, but it's so true, and you have to believe it. You have to believe in your future, that it exists. And the recovery part of it, aside from the medical part, which I give all, like I said, I give all that credit to the doctors and nurses and science that created all these cures or treatments. The recovery part was kind of up to me. And the thing I've had struggled with a little bit is giving myself permission to credit myself with the fight. I mean, I got lots of help from friends and family, and believe me, it would have been so much harder, and I don't know if I could have done it without them. But the fight was mine, and I'm winning. war is almost over, and I'm coming out as the victor. Largely due to my tenacity, strong willpower, persistence, and a strong sense of duty to my family, who needs me to stick around a little while longer. And that's why I'm saying again to message me if you don't have that support system, because it was really crucial to me. It's been the toughest thing I've ever had to go through in my whole entire life. We all go through tough things, but for me, this was the toughest. I don't know if I'll ever experience anything this tough again. I hope I don't ever, and I hope to God that none of you ever have to go through what I went through. But I did get through it, and you can too. I want to tell you that you have to keep fighting because you are worth it. There are so many opportunities for you to contribute to humanity and society, and there's so much more wonderful things left for you to experience. So you're worth it. Don't give up. Keep fighting. So speaking of coming out, it was very tough for me to come out as an atheist to my family. I agonized over it for a very long time, and again, I had support of my immediate family who knew I was an atheist. By coming out to my parents and my siblings, that took a long time for me to get up the courage to do. And it's not for everyone. I mean, if you're surrounded by religious people and everyone in your immediate family is religious and you're thinking that you're not anymore, or you want to walk away from religion, or you stop believing, or you're on the cusp of not knowing if you should leave, or you're not sure what you should do, it's tough to get out of it, to admit it to the people who matter in your life. You have to fight and to pretend every day that you're still on board with whatever religious affiliate you're a part of. But you have to do what is right for you. Don't come out because you think you have to be brave and you have to sacrifice anything. Don't do it. If you're in a position where it's very high risk for you, maybe your job is at risk, your marriage is at risk, your relationships with people that matter to you are at risk, don't feel like you have to. I mean, if you want to and you want to take that leap, go for it. You can message me about that too. I'll support you. I'll give you any kind of advice I can think of that I can give. But there are risks to coming out. And for me, I came out to my family, and a few people that I work with know that I'm atheist, but my job is likely not at risk if everybody knew that I was an atheist, so I'm not too concerned about it. And I was surprised at my family's response. My mom just said to me that she loves me no matter what. And whatever my mom says, my dad's always on board with. So, my parents are pretty cool that way. They're religious people, very involved in the church, but how I orient myself religiously hasn't changed the way they feel about me, and that was really comforting to know. So you never know, when you come out, you might have somebody in your corner that you didn't even know was in your corner who's going to love you no matter what. So it's a lot to consider if you're deciding to come out. Try and find a community to connect with. If you watch a show on YouTube called The Atheist Experience, which is very close to mine, The Atheist Experiment, if you find their show, they have, like, I think it's 20 plus years of being on, and they have great resources for anyone who's looking for some kind of community or someone just to talk to. They have a phone line. You can call into their show. You can call into their help center. They're a huge, great resource to get some advice and get some help. So I encourage you to reach out to them. So I want to leave you with a funny little story. This is completely off topic, but I just think it's funny and interesting. So this is a true story that happened to me when I was an older child. Maybe, I can't remember exactly, but maybe I was 10 or 14 years old. And it was either in Sunday school or at a church event. We played a game called the telephone game to see how a story can change when it is passed from one person to the next and in an ongoing way. And if you don't know what the game is, I'll give a brief explanation. So the more people involved, the better the game. So let's say you had 20 people sitting in a circle. Person number one in the circle, it doesn't matter who it is, picks a phrase out of a hat. And the phrase may say, all yellow, or all bananas are yellow. Something silly like that. Doesn't matter what the phrase is. And then they whisper it in the ear of the person next to them. But they keep the phrase. They don't pass on the phrase. No one knows what the original phrase is. And then that person, the second person, whispers it to the next. And that person whispers it to the next. And so on, all around the circle. And when you get to the last person in the circle, they're supposed to announce what they think the phrase is written on the piece of paper that the first person had. And more often than not, it's way off the mark. The more, like I said, the more people you have in the circle, the more fun the game is, because you go so far off course. If you started out saying all bananas are yellow, you could end up saying all birds are blue. Who knows? I'm just speculating, but that's how the game goes. So there was mostly adults playing at the time when I was there, and I wasn't really wise to it. But in retrospect, I find it fascinating that they would choose to do this at church. Because either someone had the idea and no one clued in to the irony of it, or it was a deliberate attempt by someone to make people recognize the bullshit of the books of the Bible. Because most of the books of the Bible, we're not even sure who wrote them or when. There's a lot of good speculation about when and who wrote the books, but there are books that are maybe written 1,000 to who knows how many years after the actual event occurred. And then even the first stories of Jesus were not even written down until 50 years after his death. Imagine someone telling you a story 50 years after someone had died, and then try to write that into a story and know that it's factual. So I wonder if at the time when we played that game in church, if it made anyone present at the game begin to doubt their beliefs. I just find that very interesting. And kind of funny that that's the game that they was chosen to play in church. A church that, shows exactly how the, stories passed down in the Bible, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years after the fact are taken as truth now, when we can't even get a circle of 20 people to repeat the same sentence. So that's it for me today. I'm doing very well. I'm in good spirits, and I wish you all well. And please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button, and maybe we can chat sometime. Thank you.
Hey there, my friends. If you enjoy my videos and you would like to see more, subscribe. And don't forget to scroll down and hit the little bell so you can get notifications. I will be putting out a video every Sunday evening, and if you like it, hit the like button. And if you don't like it, hit the dislike button. Also, leave a comment and let me know what you think. Catch you next time, and have a great week.